Okay, guys, so before we dive into the model, I want to share my results. As you can see, we have one Stripe account, another Stripe account, a Gumroad account, and Kajabi account. This Kajabi account, by the way, I recently created a brand new project that I use kind of like this business model. And as you can see, the new project generated nearly 22,000 net revenue in the past month, in the past 30 days. Now we have one Stripe account where I, in total, grossed 84K, 341K, with 1 month where I literally made 64,000, and then Gumroad account with 63,000. Don't let this confuse you. These $0 sales, essentially I use things like lead magnets, and these are free products that I use to build my email list, essentially. So I'm gonna talk about that more later, and I have a bunch of videos on my channel talking about it. So essentially I use Gumroad to promote free products, and in return, I get an email and build my email list. But then on Gumroad, I also have paid products, and that's how I sell them, by collecting emails from free products, essentially, and then upselling my paid products down the line. As you can see in Gumroad, I have $63,000 in sales from 145,000 sales. Keep in mind, every single free product I sell counts as a sale. That's the reason it shows right there. So you can imagine how many emails I collected from 145,000 sales combining free and paid products, right? Now, here are my results. I just want to share with you because a lot of people, talk on these videos, but they don't have proof to back it up. I'm not some sort of crazy 8-figure earner, but I'm very close to 7 figures, right? I'm earning multi-6 figures per year with this business. And being straight up honest with you, I'm not earning 7 figures yet. And if you combine this, it's been generated in the past 15 months. And if you combine these profits and these gross volume numbers, everything in total, it equals to about over $500,000 in profit, by the way. I don't have a team. My operation costs pretty lean. And in total per month to run this business, I spend about $800. $700 on all the softwares, on everything, right? That's just business expenses. It's nothing really. And on average, it brings me over $30,000 per month. This business does. Okay, so that's my results. And now moving to the business model. So guys, the way I like to view this thing is, in order to pick the best business model, we don't need to look for the best business model. First, let's define the best structure. And then once we know the criteria we need to look at, then we can decide what is the best business model, right? I'm gonna show you real quick how to do that. Okay, so I would recommend to pick something that has low starting cost, unlimited scale, and no downside. What do I mean by no downside? I mean that even if you fail, you learn so much things that could be applied to another business and to another business, and you grow as a person. But let's say taking something like you decide to start a software company right off the bat. Well, it's going to require you to have tons of cash, and then also you're most likely not going to have that cash, so you're going to need investors. Now, unlimited scale, that's fine, it's there, but you have a big downside. If you fail, you might not even want to continue with business. You lost a bunch of money. What do I always recommend, guys, and I'm going to show you what to do essentially, is how to turn yourself, what you already have, into a business in a way where you don't need a bunch of money to get started. All you need is essentially your phone and your laptop, right? And internet connection. Now, you want to have a monetization vehicle that has unlimited scale. So that means making 1 sale is the same as making 1,000 sales, right? There's no difference between making 1 sale or 1,000 sales. Unlimited scale, leverage, and no downside. By no downside, I mean, as you're doing this, even if you're failing, you constantly keep improving and learning something new that could be applied to a new venture, a new business, and you're growing as a person. Even if you make no money in the first 6 months, you learn so many things that on the next 6 months, boom, you explode and you start making 6 figures. That's exactly what happened to me. That's exactly what happens to a lot of people in the space who apply themselves into the right vehicle. And this right vehicle is here. You might know them, right? You know this guy, you know this guy, you know this guy. All of these guys preaches their vehicles, right? This guy preaches SMMA, this guy preaches crypto, this guy preaches school. what they are actually doing themselves. Well, they're building their audience and they're making money through their personal brands. And yes, you can turn this video right now. The best business model in 2024 and 2025 is personal brands. Well, if you turn this video right now, you're not really going to understand how to do this properly, because just thinking that personal brand is a business model is a false way of thinking. Just building and creating content is not going to earn you money. So I would stick with this video so you can see exactly how to do that, okay? Now, you might know them, right? These guys have hundreds of millions of followers, right? Getting millions of views. And you probably know, yeah, that's cool for them. They can make a ton of money with that. But I am a beginner, right? Well, do you know these guys? I'm not sure if you know them, right? Tom Nosky, Ultralinks, these guys are making 7 figures per year and you barely know them, okay? Now, this is the power of personal brand and building it the right way. Building your personal brand the right way with the right monetization vehicles, right? If you know these guys, that's cool. If you don't know them, side note, they're making 7 figures and you don't even know them, okay? But then, what about these guys? So these guys are members inside the Creator World, my personal branding program, right? Where I teach personal branding and how to create a unique and authentic personal brand and monetize it. For example, this guy is making over 5,000 euros per month. As you can see, you can read this. I don't want to read this right now. This guy, I think he's at 5 figures right now. You don't even know them as well, right? What I'm trying to say to you guys is stop looking at these guys and what they're preaching and start doing what they're doing. If you run an agency, if you are into fitness, if you are into yoga, into, mobility, just start building your personal brand and start creating content around that. You don't even understand how many opportunities is going to open up for you, right? Every single business model that you know out there is going to be 10 times more easier for you with a personal brand. To make money, you either sell a service or you sell a product, right? The problem is that if you start by just selling a product and start building a product first, instead of building awareness and your brand first, you are stuck with no distribution. You have a product built out, but you don't have distribution. But if you decide to take a different route and be a little bit more patient and be a little bit more smart, and you build yourself your authentic, unique brand, and you start by creating content, putting out content around your interests, around your expertise on Instagram, on YouTube. And as you grow your audience, well, now you can launch any service. You can launch any product. If you look at Iman, what he's doing right now, he has 100 different products and services, right? Like he building an e-commerce brand, he's building his educational company. If you look at Alex Hormozi, the same thing. If you look at Luke Belmer, the same thing. Capital Club, essentially his main thing. But if you started Capital Club without having an audience and without him being Luke Belmer, nobody would know about Capital Club. You see, your product doesn't really matter until you have distribution and a way to tell about that product. So why not to build distribution first? And what I'm saying is that you don't need to have hundreds of thousands of followers and millions of followers to distribute your product and make money. Tom Nosky is hitting 7-figure per year in revenue with his educational company, and he's been doing that for a while. Right now, he has 400,000 followers, but I follow him back when he had like 150,000, 200,000 even, and he was reaching this number much sooner. The same thing goes for all your online Ultralinks. This guy, he made millions with his personal brand, and again, most likely you don't even know him. Eslo as well, he didn't even show his face on his videos, and he crushed it with Notion templates. Your follower quality matters much more than the amount of followers that you have. Okay, let's talk about the power of this business. We have leverage, we have longevity, and we have the ability to see yourself improve. I think these are the most 3 important pillars of this business model, but I also added some extras right here. Now, let's talk about leverage. On Sunday, a week ago, I sent one email promoting my product. And during that week, as that promotion went on, I made $10,000 in a week, like as you can see right here, right? Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy leverage that you build up over time. And that is one thing I want to touch on. You want to get into a business model, a vehicle that you keep adding on every single day, and it just keeps compounding on each other, right? Things like dropshipping, you start a store, product dies down, and everything has been based around your product, right? It's been based around your product, right? When you start a personal brand and you start creating content, it's based on you and based on your expertise and your interest. Your product can change. You can change your product. You can change your service. You're not attached to what you're selling. People are attached to you, and what you're selling is secondary, right? You can launch even a software company and then use your personal brand to distribute that and just kickstart that, right? So that's one thing. Leverage. The leverage you build up over time is like an investment portfolio, right? You start out by putting out small bits of like content. Your followers doesn't really grow that much, but then boom, you start building your email list through a lead magnet strategies, right? You give out something for free and you start building your email list. And the way I view the email list is like building an investment portfolio. The more emails you have, the more money you're gonna make down the line. And my recommendation there, guys, would be to start building your email list as fast as you can. As soon as you start a personal brand, create some sort of lead magnet based on the content you're making. There's something that could help people, a free course, whatever, ebook, and start building that email list. You can choose platforms like Gumroad, ConvertKit, Kajabi. This is gonna be the powerhouse and the main engine for your revenue within your business in your personal brand, right? Another thing that I love in this business model is longevity. I don't know if you know Tim Ferriss, but he's the author of 4-Hour Workweek, 4-Hour Body. He started in 2007. So it's almost 20 years ago that he started, and he's still creating content today, okay? So the way I like to view the personal brand and the smartest strategy I've found to grow the personal brand is to make sure you can sustain it for a while. Don't just create content like crazy for a month and then just don't do anything for 5 months. Find a way to sustainably create content. And this is what this guy did, right? And the longevity of this business model is amazing. And as I just mentioned about having different products, you can just see Tim Ferriss' evolution, right? Started in 2007, just, his newsletter. Out of that newsletter, the 4-Hour Workweek book was created. And after that, he got some recognition based on the book. Then he created another book and kind of like branded himself like this 4-hour guy. And then the podcast was born, the Tim Ferriss Show. And he's still doing that till this day. The longevity is insane. And, I know a lot of people that grew their personal brands in this education space, and their product just changed over time so much. For example, you can look at Sam Ovens, like a good example. He's been running consulting.com for a while, and then, he's now running school.com. As you can see, the longevity, right? Imagine like how difficult it's to pivot something like dropshipping store. You're running a dropshipping store, and then, the product dies down. You have to create a new store and a new store. You're not building any momentum and any longevity within your brand. And again, coming back to emails, the more emails you generate, the more connections you build with people, the deeper and more authentic you are with your audience, the longer they're gonna follow you on that journey. So make sure you really focus on building a high quality connection with your audience. What I love about creating content and building your personal brand is that you can always go back and look at the content you've been making years ago and see how much you improve. A lot of people like to, hide their content for the past. I personally don't do that. If you scroll through my Instagram to my first few videos, you're gonna see how different they are. That's what I love. Like creators that leave their first pieces of content, that's very inspirational. And if you look at Iman Gadzhi, for example, the reason he's so big right now is because there were a combination of different things in play, and he had this catalog of videos of himself, being 15, 16 years old and documenting, going to the gym, whatever, documenting him starting his first business. And that's what makes your personal brand so strong and unique. I honestly wished I had more videos from the past on my YouTube channel, because this YouTube channel is not my first YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is my third YouTube channel, and I have other videos unlisted, but I don't have these crazy catalog of old videos where I just documented myself being 15, 16 years old, and I wish I had that. But still, I still have those videos in my computer, whatever, and I can always look back and see, the This is how I looked in some of my videos. And, right now my content has changed. And, especially on Instagram, I can see how much I improved with my content. And, as I mentioned, nothing will make you improve more than creating content, especially when you talk to the camera. Essentially, you're going to learn so many different things. And that would be just stupid not to do that if you want to run an online business. I get it. Some businesses don't require you to do that. But if you, want to learn how to sell, want to essentially master copywriting, whatever, creating content essentially forces you to learn all these different skills, because you need to learn how to write good hooks. You need to learn how to write a script. You need to learn copywriting. You need to learn presenting, right? All these different skills that you learn just through creating content could be applied to any business in the world. That's coming back to the no downside thing, right? It's only upside. Even if you fail, even if you spend a year creating content, building a personal brand, and still not see any success, well, only stupid people gonna tell you that. If you're smart, you're gonna realize that you still made big progress, right? Majority of the people are even just scared to put themselves out there. So the fact that you put yourself out there and tried and improved already puts you to top 5% of creators, okay? So another thing is monetization flexibility. This is what I love, because most creators start, and when they start their first product, when they start launching their first product, it's not going to be your last product. It's not going to be your most winning product. I started with a preset because I simply looked what other people are selling. My journey started as a freelancer. I was doing freelancing, video editing freelancing, essentially for other personal brands. And I started creating content for my own brand, and my own brand grew. And I'm like, shoot, I need to monetize it somehow, right? So I looked what other people are doing in my space. I looked what DMs are getting, and a lot of people ask me how I edit my videos essentially, and what LUT preset I use for that. So I decided that would be a very good fit, and it was, but $9.95. And, I made some money with that. And people that joined essentially started asking me more questions, especially when it comes down to editing, when it comes down to finding better content ideas and going viral on the platform. So that's when I pivoted and turned this preset into essentially like a full-fledged program, which taught everything you needed. And over time, I built it. I started with just 5 lessons. And over time, I kept stacking up. And this program turned into over 100 lessons, into massive community. And this was called Instagram Creator Course. And I was running this for a year, over a year. And the results were great. The members were very happy with it. And we developed a pretty cool community. And, I still wasn't really happy with it, with the program, how it was structured. So I decided to pivot into a new version, kind of like, iPhone releases new product every year. So that's what I thought. It's time for me to take everything that worked the best for them, for the members, and turn this into a completely a new program with all the updates, with all the feedback that I got from the members, and then turn it into Creator World. So that's what I love, right? Like product flexibility and monetization flexibility you have, because a lot of creators start with one product and then just randomly years later end up, with a software company, with a clothing brand, with, e-commerce business, with a supplement company. That's what is so powerful. When you build an audience once, and you only need to do it once and do it properly once, you build an email list, you build an audience, now you have distribution. Now it's up to you. How do you want to monetize it, right? You can monetize in different ways. Most people, again, start this in a reverse Uno card. They start with a product and then they look for distribution. You can do that, but it requires more money and more skill. And you can build a skill, you can build essentially your net worth, and you can build cash reserves by just taking yourself and turning yourself into a business with what you already have. That's the beauty of personal brand. And I also have other products that I sold, with just Notion Second Brain template and Dark Blue Apps LUT. I honestly have probably more products that I sell. I also make a good amount of money from affiliate marketing with my personal brand and sponsorships. So that's another thing, multiple income streams that you build up, and you're kind of like not that stressed out if you're just dependent on your freelance gigs. It's going to be more difficult for you to find clients, whatever. Everything is much more simple and much more easy when you build out a personal brand, especially networking, okay? Without my personal brand, I wouldn't be able to network with people like Nicholas, with William Brown. I literally just messaged them and said, hey, do you want to do a podcast? And you don't need to spam with emails, with DMs, yo, dude, let's do a podcast together, You just ask, and most of the time, if your personal brand is strong enough, people just look and, oh, wow, that's interesting. Let's do it. Because they see the value in it, right? They see the value that by networking with you, they get some sort of value themselves. Don't want to waste their time. Having a personal brand built up the proper way is literally a cheat code in 2024 and 2025 if you want to build a successful business online and start making income. Doesn't matter what you want to do. Start thinking from the point of building leverage through building yourself into a personal brand, showing what you do through content, building some sort of content portfolio so that once you want to start monetizing whatever it is that what you want to do, either it's building an agency or launching your supplement brand or launching a digital product, whatever that you want to do, you already have distribution and you already have leverage. Don't start the other way around. If you click on this video right here, it will take you to the full tutorial that shows you how to start your personal brand from scratch, grow to your first 10,000 followers, create your first product, and start making money with it. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I catch you in the next one.